Welcome back to The Counselor, and I'm your host, Sheldon Stovall. So today we're going to continue on with our discussion on substance abuse, and I want to begin with where we left off on, I believe it was part 2 of signs of addiction. And I think we talked a little bit about loss over control of the use as one of the signs. Another one is risky use. We have the physical effects. So there's some physical issues that do happen when you're using, and also social or occupational problems. So let's dig right in. But before I do that, I want to just quickly mention that my book is currently available. It's called Where is the Storehouse? You can find it on Amazon.com. You can pretty much find it everywhere, Barnes and Nobles. So it's pretty much very popular. We're getting ready to try to get it into libraries as well, nationwide, for anybody that just cannot afford a copy. And we want to also let you know we're going to be doing virtual book signings every week. So every week I will be available. I believe it's going to be on a Saturday morning, where you can actually go into a virtual meeting that's already set up for every Saturday. And once you enter the group, there's no purchase necessary. All you would need to do is give me your name, and then you can either email me right then, or if you want to just have me forward it to an address, however you like to have it done. But we will send you a personal and signed copy of my book, Where's the Storehouse? And we're also going to be going over it very soon, but it's going to be very difficult to do it if you don't have a copy, or if you haven't read anything, or if you're not familiar with the material. All right, and I did explain it a few times, and I'll explain it again. Where's the Storehouse is it's a nonfiction, and we talk about how quite a few people have been manipulated. There's testimonies in there by churches or business organizations that formulate and look like churches. Believe it or not, just because someone is in a suit and can stand in a certain spot, or has one of those pulpit things there, or whatever they do, does that mean that they're actually really a genuine church? So what Where's the Storehouse does for readers is kind of educate you on what to expect. What are you looking for? And do some research, do some homework, find out if it is a legit church. Go to the Secretary of State website. They should be established. They should have an EIN number. Many things are in here to help you start identifying where you are. There's so many people suffering, just giving money away every week, believing that something is going to happen for them, and nothing does. And it's not because you don't have the faith. It's because you're putting it in the wrong place. So Where's the Storehouse will actually help you figure out if that place is appropriate for you. All right. So thank you very much. And those of you who have purchased, thank you very much. I only have a few copies left. As you can see on my desk, I had a pile a couple weeks ago, so they're moving. More importantly, thank you guys for subscribing to my show, The Counselor. I am so enamored. I'm so excited. I'm so happy that you guys are letting us know that you want to be a part of this great national discussion that's so much needed. And who else to lead it but The Counselor? All right. So we talked about what is addiction, and we had asked you guys to leave an answer. Is it a disease or a choice? And so I'm starting to see some comments on there. I haven't really reviewed everything yet. Don't worry, we get back to you. If I don't, one of the other licensed counselors will. But yes, thank you guys for your comments. So I'm going to let you know that addiction is a disease involving continued use of a substance despite serious substance-related problems. These problems can consist of anything like loss of control over use, like I mentioned, which when we talk about loss of control over substance use, we talk about someone using more of a substance than intended. So let's think back again, because we always go back to the origin. That's how we resolve these issues, right? Other counselors can agree. You have to know what happened in the beginning in order to know how to make it an end, right? So when you're thinking about loss of use or control of use of a substance, people have difficulty using, and sometimes they use more than what is intended. So when you find yourself in a predicament where hubby went out on Friday night, drank a little bit too much, ended up out of his mind, blacked out, and spent the rent money on crack. Or when you find yourself scraping for $1 more at the liquor store just to get one more nip on the street corner asking people for quarters. Or if you find yourself overdosing, right, because you don't know what you're doing, typically that's what's going on. People don't know what they're doing. You're not a doctor, and you're injecting medications that are not intended to be at that level of strength inside of your body all at once. You know, I really, really have a big problem with the entire concept of how people are sticking a needle in their arm or in their leg or in their neck, or in the back of their neck or under their toenails and all these other things, to get a euphoric feeling, and you're not a medical doctor or a nurse. And then what really surprises me is that there are children graduating from high school or barely graduating from high school, putting needles in each other's arm just to get a euphoric feeling. So I want to remind you guys that there comes to a time when you first start using, you know, when you're meeting your friends, and I always mention it, 14, 15, 16, and as an experienced counselor, and if you talk to other counselors, they'll say the same thing. These people start very young, right? And you start out with your friends, and they give you a little bag, and, oh, here, try this. Oh, thank you. And you guys are drinking, and, oh, have a sip of mine. Oh, have some of mine. Oh, hit my crack. Oh, take a sip of my, take a snort of my cocaine, right? So that's how it usually starts, right? Everybody's having fun with their friends, right? And then all of a sudden, when people start running out of money, or if you don't have any money, those friends are no longer there. So again, now you're using the substance more, and you probably most likely are now physically addicted to whatever drug is of your choice. So you start having difficulty reducing the use of the substance. You don't want to stop. Like, you want more and more and more. And we're going to talk about that tonight, of why you want so much more. All right. Significant time spent obtaining, using, or recovering from the substance. So as a former detox counselor, I can say that for the most part, a lot of people, when they come in after they have drank so much, alcohol levels are at like the peak in their blood, that they're sleeping, or they're having trouble sleeping, or they're sleeping for a day or two. If someone's coming off the crystal meth, my gosh, anybody who worked in detox would know that person, good God, they're asleep for 3 days, and there's so much air coming out of you know where. Sometimes we would go, okay, we need to go speak with this client. I would open the door, would almost knock me out. All those farts and poops. It's a lot coming out because you're pulling in a lot of that smoke in you. And so, yes, they're sleeping for 3 days. And then they can't walk because their legs are tight, they're numb, they're sore. There are issues that happen when you are recovering from a substance. Anybody ever have a hangover? Oh, it's the most painful, most annoying, most aggravating experience that anyone doesn't want to deal with. And then some people, of course, will tell you, oh, I never have a hangover. Well, I'm glad for you. All right. So there are issues when you are using or overusing, and then the time spent obtaining and purchasing and using. And I'm not going to go there today, but quite a bit of you guys know that when you get that check, or, whenever you're waiting for that deposited check on the first or wherever you're beginning your using time, or when you get paid, and then, some people get direct deposit the night, they get out of work on Thursday and you get paid on Fridays, you get it, around 12:01 it deposits. I'm talking to you now. So when you have that situation going on, now your body is going, your anxiety is rising, and you don't call the drug dealer or whoever to come deliver the substance of your choice, and you find yourself, anxiously waiting, right? So I don't know anyone, as I often say in my detoxes, classes and groups, I don't know anyone whose drug dealer shows up within 5 minutes. Usually it's about an hour to two, right? So if you're spending a little bit more money, they might get there a little earlier, but usually it's quite a bit, right? So you spend a lot of time waiting to obtain it. And then there are people who, once they get it, again, if they're using it intravenously, they have to get the little cup together, and there's something they call a burner, and they burn the thing, and they have to stir it and then suck. I mean, it's a lot of stuff you got to do to get that stuff in your body, right? If you're an alcoholic, it's unfortunate for you, but you can literally open up that nip and pour it straight down as soon as you're at the register. So, it's a lot of time that you're spending. And then if somebody is drinking and you have an invitation to grandma's or whoever you need to go to, you got to wait to sober up a little bit before you can go to the dinner. So you're always showing up late, right? So your life begins to change. And then you start having cravings. And a lot of people don't know what cravings are. I realize that when, I am doing any kind of group work or therapy group. A lot of people don't know what cravings are. So there's a strong desire to use a substance. It's almost like physical, like your body, your mind, your brain is thinking about that substance, thinking about that feeling that it gets, when you use. And so, yes, that turns into what we call a craving, which has now become a strong desire in you. Something that you should not have decided to do when you were 15. And that's what our concern is. And that's why I sit here and I'm doing this show. And I'm going to take as much time as I can, because I am the counselor and we can do that today. You guys are making decisions at 15 and 16 and 17 and 18 and dying before 19. All right. And it wasn't me. Not yet. It starts out with one pill that your friend might give you. The little white ones, and they have a little 10 on them or a little 20 on them or a little 30 on them. And I think they used to have the 80s on them. And I think those are blue, right? The 30s are blue. I can't remember. Because now they're all pressed and filled with fentanyl, and fentanyl's running stuff now. It's ridiculous that you would, at 15 and 16, decide to put an illicit substance into your body at that age and think that you're grown enough to handle it. You're not. And what you're going to do is you're going to put your parents and your family down a path that you're not going to be able to live to fix. I wouldn't be sitting here right now if I was not going to explain to you guys in full detail that I have seen people at these ages die. They are not even making it to graduation. And when are you making this decision? In school with your cool friends. If your friends were that cool, okay, they wouldn't be doing it either. Okay, and I don't know how they're still alive, Because what happens is once you start having cravings, that is the beginning of a long and tedious journey using drugs and alcohol. So I want you guys to give me a call if you know someone. If you know someone who is you think is using, you're not getting them in trouble, you're saving their life. Pick up the phone and call. We can send you to someone that can help you. We can help you, or we can just talk with you. You don't have to use your name. If it's a parent, you don't have to mention their name. No one's going to attack you. No one's going to hurt you. What we're going to do is try to help you and possibly get to them to help them. I've been doing this for a while. I know how to get through to people, and I will sit here on this phone all day. I will turn that camera off if you want that camera off. I will turn the volume off if you want the volume off. And more importantly, we just want to help you help them. All right. So also risky use. What is that? What is risky use? Signs of addiction. Using the substance in situations where it is physically dangerous. I'm going to say this as slow as I possibly can. When you're sticking a dirty or clean needle inside your arm, you are puncturing your veins. Your veins are not to get supposed to be punctured on a daily basis 5 to 10 times a day. If you need some kind of medical assistance that requires you to put a needle in your own arm from a substance that you purchased off a street corner in an abandoned house, there's something mentally going on that's incorrect. And so I'm really taking my time because like I said, I'm seeing so many of you guys starting out young doing this, not even realizing that there's an end result and there's an end for you. You're not going to make it past 19. I'm telling you this because I've seen it. And what some of you guys do, instead of saying, oh, this guy is just crazy or making things up, go to the graveyard. Usually at the graveyard, there's a tomb, right? And in the tomb, a tombstone. And when you look at the tombstone, it says the day they were born and the day they died. So if you see something that says 2000 born, and then you see something that says 2018 died, that means that person was only 18 years old. And I'm not saying every gravesite is filled with people who have overdosed and died of fentanyl. But I can tell you one thing I do know that I don't see as much as I should on the news and on different channels and station is a worldwide alert that our young teens are dying off of the use of fentanyl. They're sticking it in their arms. They're sucking it out of a gel pad. They're smoking it off a piece of foil. They're smoking it on top of marijuana. I mean, this stuff, it's a white substance. I don't even know what it really is. That's what they're calling it. It's destroying our children. So I want you guys to really think. I want those of you who have lost your children, pick up the phone and call. The number is scrolling right down there. Or email us. Or under this video, write a comment. Say something to help somebody else. Because these kids, it's almost like a ledge. It's almost like it's a mass of kids on a ledge. And somebody, when you're in a big crowd and somebody starts pushing, guess what? Everybody over here, they're going to fall. Okay? And it just seems like we're adding more and more and more children, more young people to go pushing them right onto that edge and leaving them there. And then when the next one comes, the next one falls. And when I say fall, I mean dies. This is not funny anymore, kids. It's not funny. I can't even talk to the ones already gone because they're gone. Look at my face. They're dead. at 19, 18, 17, 16, they're overdosing and dying. So the next time someone gives you a little pill with a number 10 on it, say no.